Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you would look through my Instagram account, you will notice that I usually do a lot of effects on my lettering. Most of the time they're very colorful and have a lot of gradients and shadows, like what you can see right now. I don't like doing very flat lettering and I always try to make them 3D looking, like the ones you see on the screen right now. So today I'll share with you guys my favorite lettering effects in Procreate. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. So the first effect is the gradient effect. Now I really love doing this because it's my favorite. Now to do it, it's really simple. Just choose a calligraphy brush and then just write your word. Use a lighter shade of color first. Then there's actually two ways to do this. You can either turn on your alpha lock or apply a clipping mask. But to make everything simple, let's just turn on the alpha lock. Then after that, choose a darker shade, darker than yellow in my case. So I chose this peachy orangey tone shade and just fill in the top portion of the word. Then next, grab your blending tool, it's the tool beside your brush tool, and just blend the colors down. As you can see, it instantly creates this beautiful gradient like a sunset. Then to take it up a notch, choose another darker shade. So I chose this kind of like a red, burnt red color, and just color in the tip of the word and then blend that out. So if you want to add gradient below the word, that's also possible. So just choose a darker shade of yellow and repeat the same process. So just make sure to blend everything out, everything is seamless, and you're good to go. So next, I think I'm going to show it again. So I believe I'm writing the word effect here, and I chose a light blue shade, and now I'm using a purple shade, complementary color to light blue, and just blending it out again. So it's very easy, very simple, and just by doing this, it can really change the whole look. Now adding darker shade of purple on the tip, and we're done. So number 2 is the ribbon effect. Now this is also sort of like the gradient effect, but you're only applying the shading to the certain parts of the word. Now there's also two ways of doing this. The first way is just to put the shading on the upstrokes. So that's all your thin strokes when you're doing calligraphy. So as you can see, I'm only adding shading to the ends of the thin stroke. So just place that first, and again using another darker shade to the initial color that I used. Then using the blending tool, just blend that out, and you can see that it creates this kind of ribbon effect wherein the strokes are overlapping with each other. So I also really like doing this. It makes your word look very three-dimensional, which I really like. Then another way of doing this is, instead of doing the shading on the thin stroke, you can actually also do it on the thick stroke. So just do everything in reverse, add the shading to the thick lines, as you can see what I'm doing here. Then after that, just grab again the blending tool and blend the colors seamlessly. So now it appears as if the the thicker stroke appears to be at the bottom and the thinner strokes are above. Then number 3, we have the drop shadow. Okay, my editing here is so fast. For the drop shadow, I believe this segment is not sped up. This is the actual time that I'm writing the word shadow, so this is not sped up. So just simply write your word first, then duplicate that layer. Then on the layer below, turn on your alpha lock, then choose a darker color or a darker shade, then fill it that with the darker shade. Then just slightly move that layer to displace it a bit. So it's up to you how you want to do it. I just moved it a bit lower to the right. so you can instantly see that there's a shadow effect that's created. But if you look closely to the corners of your word, there are little gaps that are not connecting the two words, or I mean the shadow and the foreground word. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'm actually using a brush, a tiny brush, and filling that in so that it appears more seamless. So that's your shadow effect. Number 4, okay, line shadow. Now the same concept sort of, but this time we're not duplicating the layer. So again, just write your word first. For this, I'm writing the word create. Then for this, I suggest you to use a monoline brush, or I think, oh no, I still use the calligraphy brush for this. Never mind. So to create the line shadow, make sure to only put the shadow on one side of the stroke of the word. Okay, I think that's a bit confusing. So imagine if your light source is on the upper left, then all of your shadows will be on the lower right of your word. So as you can see, I'm only applying the lines on the right side of the strokes there. So that's how you do the line shadow. Then 5th, bevel and emboss. Now for this, it's also a lot of shading. So again, write your word first, then just use a soft brush. Now it doesn't have to be perfect and neat because we're going to be blending everything out later on. So use a darker shade and shade in all the one side of the word. So kind of same principle with the line shadow. So just choose a side wherein all the shadow is on the same side. So in this case, it's still the right side of the stroke. So add a darker shade and then blend it all out. Then after that, pick a lighter shade of your original color or something that's almost white and highlight the opposite side wherein you added the shadow. Now if you change the color background, it kind of looks embossed. Now if you add a drop shadow to that, it will appear more 3D. Oh god, I hope I'm making sense. But if you can see it on the screen, you can kind of understand what I'm doing. There you go. Now, this is what all of the effects used together look like. So this is one of my old artworks. Now I'm just illustrating something, just trying to lay out my words like how I normally do my lettering. So I just do a rough sketch first, and yeah, it's just a time lapse. So there I'm adding the, what do you call this, bevel and emboss on the cloud. So this doesn't only apply with words, you can also do that effects with your illustration or with your doodles. So for the word clouds, it's actually a lettering in a cloud form. So again, I'm using the bevel and emboss effect, so it kind of looks fluffy and 3D. So just playing around with the colors, adding more gradients, then ta-da! I think it's done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a thing or two. I'm sorry if my explanation is a bit weird or if it's not clear, but hopefully the visuals gave it justice, or I hope it was a bit clearer with the demonstration. So if you enjoyed this video, please give this a thumbs up, comment down below what other video requests you want to see from me, and I'll see you next time. So thanks for watching.